The Life and Times of Loraine Buchanan. This film is for Paul and Mary Latchett and their family. Let me say at the outset that we didn't have much to go on other than Lorraine's vital statistics, birth, marriage, and death, a collection of lovely photos of her marriage to her first husband, Stanley Latchett. Thank you, Mary, and the basic knowledge that her surname Buchanan was the name of a Scottish clan. We also found some clues to her personality in her senior yearbook. Loraine grew up in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, and graduated from Chelmsford High School in 1948. Her yearbook states that her favorite song was My Heart is a Hobo, recorded by Bing Crosby. She was happy-go-lucky and had an enviable bowling score, and also liked the fraps at Frosty's. When Loraine was 21, she married Stanley Latchett. Not long after her son Paul was born, they divorced. By 1969, she had married William Domi. The couple eventually moved from Massachusetts to California, where Bill died in 1981, and Loraine in 2007. Both are buried at Fairfield Cemetery in North Chelmsford. The maternal side of Paul's family tree, his Buchanans and Axworthys, reaches all the way back to 1575 in Yompton, England, in the county of Devon, near the port city of Plymouth. We are uncertain who the first Buchanan was to leave Scotland, but we do know that according to the 1881 Canadian census, his three-times great-grandfather John Buchanan was born in 1793 on Prince Edward Island, Lot 24, Queens County. Prince Edward Island, or as the first peoples, the Micmac, called it, Epiquet, meaning cradled in the waves, was settled by the French in 1720, then taken over by the British in 1763. They named it St. John's Island. In 1798, they renamed it for the son of King George III, Prince Edward, the father of Queen Victoria. The island was one of the first places Scottish immigrants came after the British defeated them at the Battle of Culloden in 1745 during the Jacobite Rebellion. Also, when the Highland clearances occurred, landlords actually cleared out their crofters or tenants in favor of sheep, displacing thousands. They were very cruel, even burning them out when they wouldn't cooperate or leave fast enough. Other settlers left for purely economic reasons and or a better life for themselves and their families. Many Scots had also settled in America. However, as American rebels fought for independence from Britain, some Scottish loyalists supported the mother country. They felt a certain loyalty to the crown, or were afraid that revolution would bring chaos to America. Many agreed with the rebels' view that America had suffered wrongs at the hands of the British, but they believed the solution could be worked out within the British Empire. Sympathy for the crown was a dangerous sentiment. Those who defied the revolutionary forces could find themselves without civil rights. They were often subjected to mob violence or put in prison. Loyalist properties were vandalized and often confiscated. As the war came to a close in 1783, an estimated 25,000 Loyalist Scots fled to Canada. 2,000 were granted land in Lot 24. We don't know for certain if John Buchanan was a child of this group. No list of names could be found in our research. John may also have been the son of an earlier settler who came on ships directly from Scotland. John's son, also John Buchanan, married Isabella McGinnis, daughter of Duncan and Maggie McDonald McGinnis, of Lot 50, on the beautiful Vernon River in Queens County. They had 10 children, including James, the second oldest, and the first immigrant to America. The lure of employment in the United States led to a drain on the population of Prince Edward Island and apparently convinced James to relocate across the border. So, at the age of 23, he packed up and left for Chelmsford, Massachusetts. In the 1900 U.S. Census, we found him married with 3 children and working as a teamster in a woolen mill. Prior to the automobile, a teamster drove a horse-drawn wagon, transporting and delivering goods to businesses and households. These drivers worked 15 to 17 hours, 6 days a week, for $2 a day. James married a Prince Edward Island girl who had immigrated to America from Lot 50 in 1890. Grace Martine Axworthy was the 12th child of George Axworthy and Elizabeth Bolt, who had left Devonshire, England, about 1830. We were able to trace her family back 11 generations. We can only guess at the struggles James and Grace faced in their new country. As a teamster, James was expected not only to haul his load, but also assume liability for bad accounts and for lost or damaged merchandise, assuming all the risks with little chance for reward. Of their 5 children, only 2, John James and his little sister Helen, lived to maturity. Baby Chester only lived a few months. James continued to work at the mill until about 1930. The U.S. Census revealed that he had finally changed employment and was now driving a tractor at a stone quarry. A year later, just 1 year prior to his death in 1941, he was, quote, a laborer for the Chelmsford Street Department, unquote. James passed away at the age of 71, but Grace lived another 17 years, dying at the age of 94. John James Buchanan and Harriet Louise Stewart, Lorraine's parents, married in 1924. They raised 3 children, John, Warren, and Loraine. He founded the Graniteville Foundry in Westford, Massachusetts. His sons John and Warren continued operating the family business for many years. Warren succeeded his father as president of the foundry, retiring at the remarkable age of 81. In his obituary is a quote which we believe brings this film to a kind of full circle close. And I quote, "Warren especially loved traveling with his wife Jessie to Scotland, his country of ancestry." Much has been written about why people immigrate to America. In regard to those coming from Prince Edward Island, one account I read characterized the border between Canada and the United States as thin. When opportunities arose for a better life for themselves and their families, these hard-working, adaptive, entrepreneurial Scots took it. The Buchanans in particular answered the call and did well.